So this is the video by Eventhubs I wanted to look at. It's talking about why Capcom basically keeps trying to push Ryu out of the main
I didn't
spotlight.
know Ryu wasn't the main character of Street Fighter 4. This is an easy mistake to make because Capcom uses Ryu in virtually all of their main marketing, tends to center the story around him, and has made
Hold
him the
on.
unequivocal.
This is probably going to be a longer video. Y'all notice this? That kind of like that new kind of move they added
Virtually all of their main
in
marketing, tends
Street
to center
Fighter.
the story around him, and has made him
Hold up.
uses
Skip
Ryu
that.
in virtually all of their main marketing. I didn't know Ryu wasn't the main character of Street Fighter 4.
Sorry, I'm trying to pause
This is
on
an
it.
easy mistake to make.
You see this blue? Notice this was in Street Fighter 5 when they updated it with that move where you kind of like perfect time. Just notice that.
Because Capcom uses Ryu in virtually all of their main marketing, tends to center the story around him, and has made him the unequivocal poster boy of the franchise.
Yeah, like it doesn't. Them trying to like push Ryu out doesn't
Been
match.
the franchise's main character since the late 1990s in Street Fighter Alpha 3. Instead, Capcom has introduced a new protagonist in each of the numbered franchise entries since Alpha, including Street Fighters 3, 4, 5, and 6. Today we'll be going through and showing you who took center spotlight in each game, as well as whether they had much of an impact or not. But first, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more Street Fighter explorations just like
Definitely like and sub. Again, this is a video by Eventhubs. I'm just looking at it and going over it.
this one. Going all the way back to the beginning, it was Ryu who was the main character of Street Fighter 1. This game had a very basic story as two up-and-coming martial artists entered a world fighting tournament to test them.
Okay, hold on. First off, this adaptation of Ryu and Ken was the best to my knowledge. This was the best Ken on the face of the planet. And right here was the best Ryu if he just needed to just bulk up a little bit, just get a little bit more muscle on him. But this was perfect. I don't know what they're going to do with that movie, but I hope the characters look as good as these do.
Metal. You play as one of these martial
The fact that Ryu had red hair is Renzo, which is another character in Street Fighter 1, talks about how Ryu used to have red hair and he don't know why he did. It's kind of funny.
artists, Ryu, the other being Ken, and go on to defeat the Emperor of Muay Thai and best in the business, Sagat.
Gotta beat that one. I never beat Street Fighter 1.
Later, Ryu would tap into a hidden inner power, the Satsui no Hado, to deliver the final.
I don't remember if his eye turned red or anything during that scene.
Is when the franchise really caught fire, and technically Ryu is the main character here as well, but story is actually very sparse compared to subsequent franchise entries. Evil dictator M. Bison puts on another World Warrior tournament to try to attract and harness the power of the globe's strongest fighters, and Ryu is his main focus given that he defeated Sagat in the previous tournament. We don't know who officially won this tournament, and the story is widely told through the snippets you get when completing arcade mode with the various characters, many of which contradict one another.
That outfit is in the
third entry, Street Fighter Alpha, that a real tangible narrative.
Get that outfit, Chun-Li, don't you?
Alpha is set between Street Fighters 1 and 2.
Okay, so we have Street Fighter and Street Fighter Alpha. Right, 2, 5, 4, 5, 3, and then 6. I hope Sean is in 6. I really do.
As this is when Capcom really decided to do something with their
this old artwork, man.
Like in SF2, Bison wants Ryu for his immense fighting potential. Meanwhile, Sagat, now Bison's second in command, is hellbent on revenge on the one who gave him his scar and took his title as best in the business. Bison uses Sagat to track Ryu and then captures and brainwashes him, but Sagat has second thoughts, realizing that this means of revenge isn't satisfying, turns on Bison, and helps Ryu defeat the dictator. Also, Ryu runs into Akuma, who is similar.
Oh man, there's so many characters that have good endings in the Street Fighter Alpha series. Definitely go back and play those if you haven't, because there's a lot of characters who I haven't beat the game with, but they all have endings and do different stuff. Like I've never seen that one right there. This is funny, man. I've seen this meme before. This is what?
Similarly interested in him for his Satsui no Hado potential because
that's
Akuma
a cool looking Akuma.
Finding strong foes and fighting them to the death. Ryu loses to his much stronger opponent, but Akuma lets Ryu live, demanding that he give in to the Satsui no Hado and become as strong as it can possibly make him so that they can
show
fight
y'all something
someday. That brings us to Street Fighter 3, wherein Alex, a brand new American character, was introduced and given the status of main protagonist.
If you
Capcom wanted
haven't,
to appeal
go
more
pick
to
it up.
American audiences and saw wrestling as the best fighting style to use to do so at the time.
What?
Developers specifically sampled from the iconic Hulk Hogan to
What?
create Alex, perhaps most conspicuous to use to do so at the time. Developers specifically sampled from the iconic Hulk Hogan to create Alex, perhaps most conspicuously through his standoff with Hugo that alludes to the legendary Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant match at WrestleMania.
Wow, I don't know why I never put two and two together. Never did. Never ever did.
To the legendary Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant match at WrestleMania 3. You'll also notice both
So this is pretty cool. I didn't expect to get hit with this amount of stuff in this video. That last fight right there was actually Andre the Giant's, I think if not his last, one of his last, but it was emotional for the both of them. Because for those who don't know, wrestling is obviously fake. It's entertainment. I did not know that as a little kid, but that body slam, he actually did do it. It was hard for him to do it though, because Andre the Giant was like, I don't know how many pounds plus, but Andre the Giant actually was really sick and hurting, and he couldn't fight. And Hulk Hogan wanted him to win and beat him and all that, but I think Hulk Hogan was supposed to lose or something. And they was crying and everything before the matchup, just knowing they had to kind of like change the storyline, but they was friends, so that was just kind of interesting. Definitely look that up.
Hogan and Alex rip off their shirts and fight with many of the same maneuvers.
Never put that together.
Alex lost both of his parents at a young age and was trained and sort of raised by one of his father's closest friends, Tom. Tom is 150% based on actor Jean Reno, by the way, whom he naturally sees as a father figure. Tom fights the big bad guy of Street Fighter 3, Gil, and is badly beaten, so Alex goes on a revenge quest to take down Gil. He does so in a fairly routine fashion and everything is hunky-dory, but then Alex encounters and fights not main character Ryu. He's unable to land a single hit on Ryu and loses horribly, but like so many others in the Street Fighter universe, becomes infatuated with the idea of a rematch. The two clash again and the outcome is unknown, and that's the gist of it. Continuing the trend of having a blonde newcomer who specializes in slams, we move on to Street Fighter 4, where Abel is the official protagonist. Inspired by Russian mixed martial artist Fedor Emelianenko, as well as professional wrestler Rob Van Dam, Abel is technically French, but that makes little sense as he's actually a clone created to be a spare body for M. Bison. Capcom set Abel up to contrast with Street Fighter 4's main villain, Seth, originally named Kane, who is also a spare Bison body and therefore something of a sibling to Abel. Now, there was a lot of potential for an interesting warring brother story here, and Capcom used next to none of it. Abel's story is that he's got amnesia and is trying to figure out who he really is, but never really does. He teams up with Guile and helps to confront Seth, but it's definitely in a supporting role at best. Despite his status as a main character, Abel is almost completely absent from Street Fighter 4's full-length motion picture anime, The Ties That Bind, and Ryu is elevated to doing all the things a main character would. Abel is arguably the worst protagonist in the entire franchise, and we actually have a full video that goes in depth on his story, the way he was seemingly sidelined, and a much deeper and meaningful story that Capcom seems to have abandoned halfway through the character's development.
So definitely go check that out if you haven't. Again, give a shout out to this video. So this is gonna be part one of this. I didn't know that. I don't remember that at all. He was a clone for Bison. Bison got a lot of stuff going on out there for himself out there. But yeah, they definitely abandoned that one because I remember watching that anime, and again, Ryu came and saved the day. So I don't know why they done that. And see the Ryu arc on his own, all the character story arcs separately are strong enough for versions of Street Fighter on their own. So I don't know why they would kind of like take away from Abel or put Ryu in it, because see, they done this again in 5, which I'm pretty sure he's going to get to. But they did that in 5, and you can download that story that Square Enix actually helped come up with. Ryu at the end come in there like Jesus shooting a fireball. It's like, why go through all this trouble like with Charlie and all that, and then Ryu come at the end? Like, just give it to Charlie and Guile. I would have been happy with that. Just another story. Because again, all these character story arcs, Cammy, Chun-Li, Cammy. Okay, then look, this is the breakdown now. So you got Cammy and M Bison, strong story arc. Ryu and Akuma, strong story arc. Ken just got one in 6 with JP, super strong story arc. Um, his son will probably be in Street Fighter 7, by the way. And then you got uh let's look at the versus one. So you got Chun-Li and Vega, Borog and Ed, Sagan and Ryu, um, Dawson. I don't know Dawson. Blanca is always cool, man. We own it. Shout out to Uno. Um, Akuma, of course, we know his story with uh Goken and then Tetsu, you know. So it's like basically what I'm saying is all the characters have their own, they're strong enough on their own. Each character could be considered a main character. I mean, Jury, look at all of them. I'm thinking about all of them in my head. All of them are cool. They all shine. So there's no need to take away from any of those characters and then put Ryu there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this is gonna be video 2. This, I didn't mean to make this long. I thought I was just gonna let it run through, but there's a lot of history here and a lot of stuff that is bringing back to me. So yeah, this is video 2. Get ready for, sorry, this is video 1. Get ready for video 2. So this is video 2. Again, this is the original video is made by Eventhubs. Get credit where credit is due. Why does Capcom keep doing this? And this is about how different protagonists come up in the Street Fighter universe, but tries to replace Ryu seemingly, but Ryu seems to keep coming back. And the last one they just talked about was Street Fighter 4, when Abel was kind of a main character. Then he got put on the sidelines, and then Ryu ended up coming at the end. So here we go. I believe he's going to go on to Street Fighter 5 now.
Street Fighter V introduced the Middle Eastern fighter Rashid as its main protagonist. Rashid is the result of a close collaboration between Capcom Japan, Sony, and Pluto Games, Capcom's officially licensed distributor in the Middle East. The Arab character is a more modern and clean-looking fighter dressed in white to contrast with Ryu, who usually has a more tattered and outdoorsy appearance with his white gi. Rashid's story is that he's on a quest to find a missing scientist friend, whom we later discover was captured by Shadaloo and forced to do their dirty work. He encounters Ryu just before the main events of Street Fighter V and challenges him. Like Alex, this main character loses to Street Fighter's poster boy as well, but is happy to have a story to tell, so there's that. During the events of SF5's main narrative, A Shadow Falls, Rashid does play a prominent role as he helps Team Good Guys thwart M. Bison's evil plot to blast psycho power into all the major cities around the world. Rashid's ties to his aforementioned friend, who is killed, by the way, spoilers, help him directly deactivate the main satellites involved in Bison's plan, and thus he does play a significant role. Now that said, it's once again Ryu who delivers the final blow to M. Bison after some help from Charlie Nash, and thus yet another main character clearly plays second fiddle to Ryu, who got a ton of development as he finally figures out how to control the Satsui no Hado and becomes the most powerful version of himself yet. That brings us to the most recent entry, Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, that ending, I didn't even like. I'm just like, why did Ryu didn't even have to be in that story at all? I mean, it was cool to see him. It was actually cool to have that story in there, but he didn't need to come in there. Like I didn't like that myself. That was kind of whack.
Though he was introduced at the end of Street Fighter V, presumably because of delays in the development process of SF6 thanks to COVID, Luke Sullivan is the latest main character.
I don't think that was a delay by COVID. I think they purposely took their time with 6.
He and fellow newcomer Jamie are supposed to represent a Ryu and Ken for the younger generation. In the main prelude to Street Fighter VI, Days of the Eclipse, we find our main character yet again playing a supporting role as Ken and JP are the central focus. Ryu isn't mentioned at all, surprisingly. But Luke does lead the "we got there 2 seconds too late" SWAT team and takes care of Ken's son in the B-plot. Capcom actually based Street Fighter VI's main story around the custom avatar character that players use, but Luke serves as the main instructor for you throughout, introducing you to the world and telling you
which
how
is cool.
all your gear and gadgets work. If you're seeing a theme emerge here, you're absolutely right. Capcom doesn't make its main characters, at least when it comes to Street Fighter. By all intents and purposes, they do use Ryu as the central focus of most of their stories, and that makes sense since he's so recognizable to so many members of the general public. That said, it seems like a kind of odd choice for them to go out of their way to deem specific newcomers main characters when they really fulfill the role in title alone. Alex is on some of the promotional material for Street Fighter 3 and
Yeah, he was on this. I mean, this was the most I've ever. Anytime I've seen anything on Street Fighter 3, back in the day when I first seen it, all I saw was Alex. And this old artwork looks cool. See, this is whatchamacallit right here. But I see what they was doing now. But when I looked at this, I didn't see nothing of Hulk Hogan at all. I was looking for my boy Ryu.
Luke made it as the sole character on Street Fighter 6's horrendous box art.
Oh man, I was hoping that they had made some. Did they ever make other ones? I thought they did. And they didn't they have like Ken. I saw Ken on. They did. I saw Ken on one. I think I saw Ken in Chung Lee. Was it? I saw Ken. I know for sure, but never got that new box art, man. All right though.
But both Rashid and Abel are nowhere to be found when it comes to the main marketing of the games they allegedly lead. You might argue that giving particular characters such a title is a specific effort to try to give extra hype to them, but this definitely wasn't the case for Abel, and many active
No.
players just learned about 2 minutes ago that SF5's main character was Rashid, so that's kind of a hard argument to support. Why do you think Capcom assigns main character titles in this way?
Yeah, I didn't.
Does it make things more interesting, or should they just admit that Ryu is and always has been Street Fighter's one and only protagonist? I've been John Velociraptor Guerrero for Eventhubs. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, so let's get some pause action on there again. Thank you for the video, Mr. John. Narration was excellent. So I actually learned a lot. I didn't know that about about Rashid. Really, I'm thinking back at the story myself. It's like, yeah, I don't remember. I remember him being there, but I don't remember him doing all that. Like, I don't remember him being the main character at all. But I think, like I said, then this is just my perspective of it. For me, first off, Abel's story totally went away. I don't. Yeah. Uh-huh. But for me, it's like all these characters are done. They're made like main characters. They have so many like different stories that you could take any of these characters and put them in their own thing, and it'll just fit. So yeah, I think that's why overall that the characters, it's all right to like start a story and everything, kind of have Ryu. But the thing is, what they need to stop doing, and I don't think they're going to do it necessarily in this one, is stop coming up with these stories and then bringing them back to Ryu. Like, you don't have to do that, man. Like, Akuma and Ryu is strong enough, definitely after the presentation of Akuma here recently. So like, if they don't need to do that no more. And the way they have the world tour mode and all that, I mean, like they can't. All they can do is just keep updating it and doing it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Ryu, man. That's my boy. He's always been my favorite. I don't see them getting rid of him until Street Fighter 7. Now, I will say in 7, this is what I want in 7. I do want them to not get rid of Ryu, but make Ryu a boss character. I want Sakura and Sean. I want Mel, Ken's son. I want what's her name? Xian? Fee? Chung Lee's apprentice. I want her to be in there. I want a younger generation of fighters. All of them. With some of this new stuff. Ed, right? So just do that. But we'll see, man. We'll see what they do. Let's go play some Street Fighter. Again, thanks Event Hub for the video.
Get in there!